Let's fucking go! DC! Welcome back to the Defending Football Show. Thank you so much for watching. The United Bowl is set. The DC Defenders take on the Louisville Kings. DC looking to go back-to-back at Audi Field at home for the championship game, and the Kings looking to have the first ever professional team in 100 years for football win its first championship. So many storylines, so many things to break down, but first we got to break down what happened in the playoffs this week. Starting off, America's team, your team, the DC Defenders defeat the Orlando Storm 28-22. They said it couldn't be done. They said it was impossible. Well, guess what? DC takes this game, and it wasn't even as close as the final score. Jason Bean decided, you know what? I'm sick of losing to this Storm team. It's time, finally time, to win it when it matters. He went 18 for 33, 233 yards, and a touchdown. 0 turnovers on the day for Jason Bean. Beautiful, perfect game. 54.5% completion percentage. Could get that up, but it was enough to get DC over the hump here into the championship once again. And Honest Abe, Abram Smith, led the team with 11 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown on the ground in the playoffs. Xavier Valade, 8 carries for 42 yards. Jason Bean, 5 carries for 40 yards. And Deion Jackson had 12 for 33 and a touchdown as well. We rushed for a combined 172 yards and 2 touchdowns today. And man, DC looks pretty good, man. PKQT led the team this week, 4 catches, 58 yards in the air. And then right behind him, Briley Moore, the best tight end in the UFL, by the way. 4 catches, 55 yards, and a walk-in touchdown. Amazing catch and throw by Jason Bean, by the way. And then Braylon Sanders, 3 catches for 49. If he catches a few more, he's probably over 100 in this game. Now let's look at the defensive side of the ball. Only 1 sack on the game. But guess what? It was probably one of the biggest moments in the game. Derek Roberson. How many times do I have to say his name on this show? One of the biggest moments in the game to keep momentum early for DC. Not to mention, Bryce Thompson ends up with an interception. Jack Plummer only threw 1 all season, and guess what? We got 1 on him in the playoffs as well. Brandon Smith with 5 total tackles and 2 solos on the day, so he balled out as well. And then Kai Gray, 6 total tackles, 3 solo on the day. So Kai Gray getting some great playing time these last few weeks. He's looking pretty good out there. And there's a bunch of other names on this defense that just played their part to keep this score low enough for DC to run away with it. And don't forget, when Jason Bean went out with injury, unfortunately, Spencer Sanders threw a pick 6, so take 7 off the board for the Storm. That's their real score in this game. They were practically held to 6 points for 3/4 of this game. All I gotta say is that DC has championship pedigree. That's something that you cannot replicate if you don't have it. And of course, I can go the easy route and say, well, it's Anthony Becht in the playoffs, but you gotta realize, this team was 8-2. The Storm were playing some of the best football in the UFL. Don't get it twisted. No one was giving us a shot in this game, and I just knew it. I knew DC, this is the perfect spot, the underdog spot. It was perfect. I was so excited watching this game. Thank you so much to Shannon Harris, right there, baby. Thank you very much for doing what you have to do to get back to the championship game in Audi Field. There's only one thing left to do, and that's finish the job. But we will talk about the Storm real quick. Jack Plummer, 15 for 28. He went 226, a touchdown, and 1 costly interception. Almost 2 interceptions, by the way. Roberson almost got 1. That is 53% completion percentage on the day for Plummer. One of his worst games of his short career so far. And then, of course, the Storm. You know, Dakota said it best. They can't run the ball. He's been saying it all season. Despite having Jashawn Corbin, one of the best running backs in the UFL over the few years, 5 carries and 24 yards for him. I mean, how do you give your main guy only 5 carries in a whole football game, by the way? And not to mention, he had a long of 14, so the other 4 carries went for 10 yards. KJ Hamler did ball out, though. We know he's a certified baller out there. 4 catches, 82 yards on the day for him. And Chris Rowland should be a DC defender, by the way. 6 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown was a complete Hail Mary moonball, but sure, we'll give it to you. Overall, the theme of this game was Jason Bean locking in. The team has locked in and embraced Jason Bean. Now, this is super important as we need a leader going into this championship game. As you know, one game, you win it, and you're in the championship. So, zero room for error in this next game coming up. And the more bought in this DC team is on Bean, the better. And I think he showed a lot of resilience, and I think he gained a lot of respect from his teammates this week. He really played his ass off, and I gotta say thank you to Jason Bean for showing out, man. Just one more left, and this one is gonna mean the most. And that's gonna move us into the other important game of the week. Obviously, the Louisville Kings defeat the St. Louis Battlehawks 29-20. More woes for the St. Louis Battlehawks and Anthony Becht. So, some things I guess don't change in the UFL, but Chandler Rogers, looked serviceable once again. He went 12 for 20, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, very important, and a 60% completion rate. He looked decisive, but the St. Louis defense was getting to him in this game, and they gave him some troubles for sure. They ended up scoring 29 points anyway, but there was points in this game that if the St. Louis offense could just score, there was a chance that they could win it. Now, despite the stats, Luis Perez didn't actually look that great. He went 27 for 45, 249 yards in the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and completed 60% of his passes as well. Now, Ian Wheeler, this is a guy we got to look out for in this next game. He rushed 7 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. That's with a long of 51. And then James Robinson finished with 51 yards and a touchdown as well, but he had a long of 53, so that's kind of a weird stat there. For the Hawks, Jarvion Howard had 70 yards and a touchdown as well. But the problem for the Battlehawks, Hakeem Butler, 3 catches for 24 yards. That's not going to get it done in the postseason. Not to mention, he did drop one. It could have been a touchdown, and he just flat out dropped it. Something about Luis Perez, he can't connect with these guys. I don't know if it's the offensive scheme. That's what I think. He doesn't look comfortable at all in this scheme, and it costs you a playoff game, man. On the other hand, Isaiah Winstead, 3 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. That guy's fast, man. Overall, the Kings continue rolling. This game was a little closer than they probably liked it to be. St. Louis's defense kept them in it for sure, but at the end of the day, the Kings keep rolling. More wins on wins. They're stacking them here, but nothing lasts forever. 1 week left of the season, the DC Defenders versus the Louisville Kings in the United Bowl at Audi Field, Saturday, June 13th at 3 p.m. on ABC. This place is going to be rocking. I'm going to be there. If you're there, say hi. Let's take a picture. Let's talk some ball. There's a few things that the DC Defenders have to do to win this game. It's very possible, and it's a big rivalry game, all right? Look, the Kings have beaten us twice, all right? They beat us in our building, and they beat us in their own building. No way you let them beat you twice in your own building in the championship game. I have full trust in Shannon Harris to make the correct calls. Fred Keiss needs to dial it in, and Blake Williams continue terrorizing the quarterback. Come get some, baby. This is everything on the line. Look, DC won it last year. We got the old trophy. We got that ring. But guess what? There's a new trophy. We don't got that one yet. We're going to have to get that this weekend. We need to show the UFL that despite us not having Jordan Ta'amu, MVP of the league if he does not get injured, that this league runs through the DC Defenders. Keys to victory: 0 turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over. It's pretty much proven. If the Kings get a turnover, they usually win that game. I believe they score almost 10 more points when they get a turnover in a game. Cannot happen in this one. On the other hand, we need to force a turnover. We need to steal possessions out of the hands of Chandler Rogers and make him play from behind. Another key to victory, we need to rush the passer. Get to Chandler Rogers. I want Roberson and Mintz on him every single play. I don't want any more than 2 seconds in that pocket. I want guys surrounding Chandler Rogers, making him uncomfortable. On the defensive side of the ball, tackle. You have to wrap up and tackle. No excuses, no explosive plays. Lock in and lock down these receivers. If they get a catch, tackle them. The Kings thrive on yards after the catch. And if we're serious about winning this game, we have to tackle. On the offensive side of the ball, Jason Bean let the man loose. In just 2 weeks, he's looked so much better in this offense. Let's see what one more week can do, add a few wrinkles. Clearly the Storm were confused by the option plays. Why not throw a few more in there? But you got to add some wrinkles off of that this week. I think they're going to be trying to key in on Jason Bean, not letting him loose. So we're going to need a passing option off of those plays for sure. Overall, I like our chances, but we need to play clean DC football to win this game. This is going to take everything DC can get to win this game, a gritty win. And I said it on the Kings podcast, DC is going to win this game 35-33. And it's going to be an amazing feeling for Jason Bean to go out on top with his brand new football team against the team that threw him away. Him and Chandler Rogers have a history together, and I'm sensing bad blood. So we'll see you in Audi. Come get some, bitch. Oh yeah, one more thing. Add a lemon to the show. Let's get number 7 next week, baby. For the love of football, defend football, baby.